Hello and welcome to Talking Xbox. This is a podcast where I do just that, I talk about Xbox. My name is Caleb, and on today's episode number 4, we are going to be talking about 3 very big pieces of information that's going on in the world of Xbox. And that is that the Xbox Series X has finally been confirmed to be releasing in November. We have the leak of an Xbox Series S controller that's made its way online. We also have the news from 343 Industries that Halo Infinite is going to be delayed until 2021. So let's start by talking about the Xbox Series X launching this November. There was a post by Will Tuttle, the Xbox Wire editor-in-chief, this morning, saying that the Xbox Series X launches this November with thousands of games spanning 4 generations. The blog post says, "Today we announced updates to Halo Infinite's launch timing, which we will talk about very soon. Our vision at Xbox and 343 Industries has always been to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever for our fans, while also balancing the team's well-being. To do that, we will need more time to finish the critical work necessary to launch Halo Infinite, which will come in 2021. We have plenty to keep you busy until Chief arrives. There will be thousands of games to play, spanning 4 generations when Xbox Series X launches globally this November, and over 100 optimized games for Xbox Series X. They're built to take full advantage of our most powerful console, and with brand new console features like hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, frame rates up to 120 frames per second, faster loading times, and quick resume for multiple games, playing will look and feel better no matter which games you choose to play on day one." So let's talk about the obvious thing. With Halo being delayed, there is now no real massive launch title for the Xbox Series X. Halo is going to be releasing with an Xbox for the first time in a long time this holiday 2020, but that's no longer the case due to Halo being delayed now. But we do finally have a window for the Xbox Series X, and that is November. We don't have a hard date in November, but they've been saying holiday 2020 for a long time, so we knew it was going to be somewhere around October, November, December, but now we know that it is November, and we're looking for a hard release date, hopefully to be announced soon. The blog post goes on to say that more than 50 new games planned for this year across generations are optimized for the Xbox Series X, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, Gears Tactics, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Watch Dogs Legion. With smart delivery, you only have to buy these games once to play the best versions for your console across generations. New games developed for Xbox Series X and launching with Xbox Game Pass, including exclusives like The Medium, Scorn, Tetris Effect Connected, and more. They go on to talk about the Xbox Game Pass and how, beginning September 15th, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members will also be able to play more than 100 games from the cloud with the xCloud program. And then they're really backing up the whole backwards compatibility thing, being able to play games from the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One, along with any new Series X games on the new console. So it's interesting to see the marketing shift from new games. I think they're going to go to more of the backwards compatibility, because that's all they've really got to lean on right now. We don't have Halo as that launch title anymore. But what else is there to talk about with the Series X? Well, now that we have a soft date with November, let's talk about price. What is the price of the Series X going to be? We know that Microsoft want to be very competitive on the price this time around, and there's this game of chicken going on between Sony and Microsoft at the moment about who's going to be announcing the price first, whether one announces first, the other one will undercut that price, or what. So I'm going to give my completely, really unresearched, unfounded opinion on what I think the price is actually going to be for the Xbox Series X, and I'm just going to throw it out there and say that the Xbox Series X will be $450 US. Now, I'm basing this off a couple of different things. At the moment, here in Australia, where I live, I can go down to EB Games and I can buy an Xbox One S, a 1TB one, for $399 Australian. That is about $285 US dollars. So a 1TB Xbox One S still costs nearly $400 here. I can go and buy a Xbox One X for $549 at the moment. That was the best price I could find, $549, which goes to about $390 US dollars. So if the current strongest Microsoft console here in Australia is still $549, $390 American, it's got to be more expensive than that, surely, for the next generation of consoles. So I'm going to predict that it's going to be $450 US, which in Australian dollars is $630. That's about where I'm leaning. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I believe when the One X launched in Australia, it was $650. I can't remember that for certain, but I think it was around that time, and I think it's only gone down about $100 since that, and that was over 2 years ago now. So when will we get this announcement of price? I don't know, but I do know that Gamescom is in 14 days. That begins on the 27th of August. We know Xbox is going to be there. We know that Xbox is supposed to have an event in August, despite them sort of stepping away from that Xbox 2020 messaging that they were pushing, where they wanted to have an announcement every month. They're sort of moving away from that, but I still think that we will get an announcement of price and a solid release date by the end of this month, probably at Gamescom. And what's the other thing that I think that we are going to get at Gamescom? I think we will finally get the official announcement of the Xbox Series S. And I think this is coming because of that controller leak. A controller was apparently either looted from or stolen from and then sold from a Best Buy to someone on Twitter at Zackle_exe. He bought it for about $40, and in the manual of that controller, it says compatible with Xbox Series X/S. So this is more or less confirmation of that console actually existing. The Series S confirmed more or less to actually be a thing, and I think we're going to get that announcement at Gamescom. What I want to know is this announcement going to be a blow softener? Is the Xbox Series X going to announce at a higher price point than I'm predicting, and then they'll say, if you can't afford that, we've got this console for you, the Xbox Series S. It can do most of the things that the X can do, but it's a little bit cheaper, doesn't have quite the processing power. I'm not sure. Is it going to be a blow softener? We've never really had two consoles that are vastly different release at the same time. Sony has obviously announced the PlayStation 5, but the only difference is one is a digital edition and one isn't. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get this Series S announcement with this controller. Is that going to force Microsoft's hand? Again, nothing has been said from Microsoft, as far as I could see, about this Series S controller. They're playing this very, very close to the chest, which is very interesting, and we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen from it. Just like we will have to wait that little bit longer to play Halo Infinite. This morning, Chris Lee, a studio head at 343 Industries, put up a post saying, "Today I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision." To be honest, I think this was expected. I was still caught a little bit off guard because the last blog post they put out, they sounded very confident and eager to continue working on the game and improving it after the July showcase. But that being said, this year has just been one of those years. Things change at the drop of a hat. This isn't the only game that's been delayed this year, obviously. Cyberpunk 2077 has gone through multiple delays. The Last of Us Part 2 was delayed. Just the other day, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was announced to be delayed till next year. I believe Dying Light was delayed at the beginning of the year to next year. So delays are standard in this industry, and with the combination of just normal standard industry delays and living in a COVID-19 world at the moment, I feel like delays are inevitable in this industry. The post goes on to say, "The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to ship it this holiday." It's that final sentence there that makes me 100% okay with the delay of Halo Infinite. I'm usually okay with delays of games anyway. If it's delayed, like the night before, obviously that's going to sting a little bit, but this is delayed months out. And it's just that last sentence there. It is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game. There is no benefit to putting out a game that's just not ready. there's zero benefit. Unless you are releasing something through early access or Xbox Game Preview, and you've made that decision from the start to that's how you want to continue the development of that game, then that's fine. But this is Halo. This is a flagship franchise for Microsoft, for the Xbox. They want to take their time with it, and I am more than willing to let them take their time with it, especially because of what they just said. Not sustainable for the well-being of our team. Crunch is a huge issue in the video game industry. Working stupidly long hours, often not being paid overtime, to get a game ready and out the door by a deadline. It is a horrible, horrible thing in the industry. So it is nice to see people stepping back and saying, look, we need to take our time with this. We're not going to make that release date. We're not going to put out an unfinished product on that release date. So I am behind 343 Industries and Xbox 100% on delaying this game. And those are the three major things that are going on in the world of Xbox. The date, or the month at least, for the Xbox Series X launching, the Xbox Series S seemingly being confirmed through the controller leak, and the delaying of Halo Infinite. Bit of a short episode this time around. I have some things going on in life that are restricting me, but hopefully next episode will be a lot more in-depth with a lot more things going on in the world. But it is always just fun to sit down and talk about things going on in the world of Xbox, and that's why I'm doing this, because I like talking about Xbox. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.